Welcome back to another episode of Late Night Shenanigans. This is going to be my biggest board ever. Oh my gosh. Watch how I do this. This is a sneak peek of the big reveal. I'm so excited to do this board today. So let's see what we got. So today I got this humongous board. This actually I bought from a store, like no cap. I bought this from a store and I decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and make it better. So I went ahead and I taped it off and got everything ready and everything prepared for pouring. So first things first, you want to make sure that you prep your board, make sure everything is good, and then kind of figure out where you want to put your design. So I decided I wanted to kind of do a little halfway beach on the board and, just to kind of have a little wavy situation happening. So let's talk about these colors. So I wanted to use some beautiful resin paste. Now this is the shallow, it's an opaque color. This is a shallow, part of the ocean, and it's really pretty teal. Here, of course, we have that white, that really pretty white, and that's also a resin paste. And then, oh my gosh, this part is the best for me. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. So that, of course, is that deep blue that we're going to use for the deep blue part. And of course, the plain resin, which I already pretty much had mixed up and everything to go. So when planning this, I want to make sure that I get over the edge, right? And so I want to make sure that I spread the resin over the edge of my board so that it'll continue to pour. So let's go ahead and get this thing cracking. Here's our first pour, and I'm starting off with the white or the plain resin. So basically all I'm going to do is kind of take my popsicle stick and just kind of spread it like butter all over the front of the board. I also want to make sure that I get like all the little cracks and crevices on the sides of the board to make sure that, the resin has somewhere to flow over. So everything has to be wet with resin. So I'm taking my time to kind of make sure that I do that, especially on the sides, because it's a little bit difficult. Sometimes you can get resin all the way to the edge and sometimes it doesn't even fall over. So I got to make sure that everything is wet all the way around. Sometimes you just need to take your gloves, take a gloved hand and just, work it in with your fingers. Today I wasn't feeling that. So, I painstakingly used a popsicle stick and, made sure I wiped everything down with the clear resin first. Now, once I kind of have where I want the beach poured, I just continue to work it in with the rest of it. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and use like the clear all the way in the back. I have to put other resin back there. So I just kind of left that part ready for the opaque resin. So now that this is good and spread, now it's time to spread the deep blue part of the ocean. And so once again, taking a little popsicle stick and my little cup, I went ahead and I spread it all out. So see how rich and thick that color is? You can't see through it. This was a beautiful color. This is one of the colors that I use all the time. I was very pleased when I bought this. This was a Temu color that I got. I did a Temu haul, and one of these days I'll show you all of those colors. But I use this the most because it's just so beautiful. All right, now I have the more shallow part of the ocean. I'm pouring that, and that is that beautiful teal. So now I got to make sure that I blend those two colors. I want to create a gradient. So I want to bring some of that dark color up and then push some of the light color back to create a nice gradient so I don't have like a block of color. So this part could get really messy. This part I actually did, kind of put my fingers in and made these little finger waves in there to mimic, the waves of the ocean. And then once again, making sure that I got resin all the way to the edge so it will flow over once I start moving the resin with the heat gun. Of course, there was lots of bubbles in this, so we gotta make a pass with the torch to get all the extra little bubbles out. Now that I've gotten my bubbles out, now it's time to go ahead and start pouring the wave itself. So I've had this white sitting here for about 30 minutes, so it's good and thick. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and pour my wave. I like using these paper cups because I can just pinch it and it creates a little spout. And then in addition, I would pour some extra lines just randomly in the back. So it creates these wonderful the wonderful lacing that's going to happen next. All right. So now we've got our heat gun, and the first thing we have to do is just kind of heat up the resin. So I'm just going to take my time just to kind of heat it up. I have the heat gun at sort of like an angle, almost close to, the same angle as the board itself. And now that it's kind of good and heated up, and you can tell because the resin starts to move a little bit. Now I'm going to start pushing that wave backwards. This to me is the most satisfying thing ever. Look at that. And it just develops these beautiful waves all by itself. So beautiful. All right, so now that I've done that piece, now we're going to use the torch just to go over and help it to develop that beautiful lacing that's coming. You got this. This for me took time to develop. And once you've done it a few times, then you figure out your own groove so that you can create these beautiful waves. Look at that. That is so gorgeous. Now, there were a couple of spaces where I needed to reinforce the waves there. As you can see, like right there, where I kind of pushed the white back. So what I wanted to do, I just go back over, put a little bit of white there just to kind of solidify that little area. All right, now is day 2. Time for the second pour. So now that we're pretty much done, what I wanted to do, which is a little bit different, this is the first board I've ever done this. I wanted to create a little whale family. As you see, I've already drawn these little whales on my board. So what I did was I got some Sharpies and a silver pen. I Googled an orca, and it was pretty simple. So all I did was just draw it with my black Sharpie, and I used the silver Sharpie to create those little markings on the back. And so I had a big whale and a little whale, and just kind of put it there. So the next piece is to make sure that the colors that I put on them, that I can see through them. So this time, instead of using resin paste, I use alcohol inks. And so all of these are alcohol inks, the same colors as the previous ones, with the exception of the white. Okay, I used Casting Craft and a little alcohol ink, and I created my resin, and it's nice and translucent so you can see my little whales through them, right? And you can see the waves beneath it. So now we're going to go ahead and pour and make sure that we work that color all the way in the back, and so it can fall over the sides and give that beautiful color all the way over the edge. So I took my time with my popsicle to stick to make sure I did that. And I can still see them. Look at them. They're so cute. So now we're going to get that beautiful teal color, a nice translucent teal to go with the under teal, and just work that into that top part of the wave. Okay, so now that I've gotten that, it's time to add the white. Well, before I do the white, I'll do a little bit of the clear resin because I want the white to blow over that clear resin. So I went ahead and poured that real quick and just kind of married the two just a little bit and made sure that I was taking care of that backside because that's really where I want that color to fall over. So now it's time to pour the wave. So with this one, I didn't wait as long, and I should have waited a little bit longer to make sure that the white thickened up. And the more I do this, this is what I learned. I can tell by just looking at it that the white is too runny, but I'm going to make it work because I have a beautiful wave below it. Of course, before we get started, we got to blow out all the little bubbles. So of course, that's a little torch work there. So we go ahead and got the bubbles out. Now warming up the resin just a little bit and just kind of letting the resin tell you when to push it. So it starts to move, and then I go ahead and I continue to push the waves. And so that's what I did here. And I can already tell it's, that top wave is just a little bit different than the bottom one. The bottom one gave me that beautiful foam, even though the top wave, is a little bit milky for my taste. I made it work. I went ahead and reinforced it by putting a little bit more white on the edge so that I could have a really pretty pronounced wave, second wave. And now, oh my gosh, just to touch it just a little bit with the heat gun. And of course, torching. But are you ready for the big reveal? Oh my God. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. This was so worth it. You see, it still gave me beautiful waves, even though the white was milky. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. And I could still see my whale underneath. Stunning. This was so beautiful. I had the best time at Christmas time, and that is how I used my board. I made the most beautiful charcuterie. It was a hit. I loved it. I hope you did too.